Option Block 24 TV about PM or Kempinski Hotel na any dia menuka say the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry or more air hosting program or madema parliamentarians na program no opportunity say restoring a culture of proper small scale mining in Ghana. Igina enim say small scale mining a fine be illegal ones ne binom a friend Galamsey no and you have to say our Ghana hanoma say yensase na eno ana say the sector ministry led by the minister honorable Agyemang omo ayene say omo the program yi ba na say omo the aba betre senior awudia ye mining activities ADN na impono especially MPs say omo free mantemo mining activities ikoso no omo achecho nti eno na say aba be PM wa hanom na the vice president wa hanom the sector minister of course wa hanom other technical advisors of the sector as well. And program no umienhwe nia eba bekoso. We welcome
All three water basin systems in the country are under real threat. We have lost 44 of our forest reserves to illegal mining activities, and it will cost us several hundreds of thousands of cedis or dollars to reclaim them. The public outcry on this issue is testament to the urgency with which we must act. Therefore, as honorable members, you are not only lawmakers, but also direct representatives of your people who are most affected by the impact of these illegal mining activities. We have seen the effect of pollution on our water bodies in the very communities we oversee. Babies born with defects or stillborns, and that is of particular pain to us women. To go through the whole process and have your joy curtailed is not something we look forward to. It is therefore fitting that we convene here today to engage in meaningful dialogue and orientation on how we can collectively tackle this national concern. The government of Ghana recognizes that restoring responsible mining practices require a multi-stakeholder approach, and this is why we have outlined deliberate steps to curb the illegal mining, regulate the sector effectively, and ensure that small-scale mining is conducted in a manner that benefits the economy and the local communities without compromising the environment. We appreciate that this is a battle that cannot be fought by the government alone, and we acknowledge the crucial role of Parliament, of CSOs, all of us, in shaping policies, providing oversight, and ensuring compliance within the constituencies within which we serve. In the past months since assuming office, our Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Emmanuel Kofi Boa, has hit the ground running. Congratulations. Also head on tackling the issue of illegal mining. Honorable Kofi Boa, you have engaged extensively with key stakeholders, traditional leaders, and security agencies, and identify efforts in reclaiming degradable or degraded lands. These are commendable steps that require the full support of Parliament, the full support of all of us. As we embark on this orientation session, I urge each one of you respectfully to approach it with a shared sense of responsibility and commitment. Our discussions today must move beyond rhetoric to tangible actions that will drive change in our respective constituencies. We must work together to ensure that small-scale mining is not synonymous with destruction, but rather an avenue for economic empowerment, job creation, and sustainable development. In conclusion, I extend my sincere gratitude to the organizers of this conference, our esteemed speakers, all participants, for your unwavering dedication to this cause. Let us engage constructively, deliberate effectively, and most importantly, leave here today with a renewed sense of purpose to restore a culture of proper mining in Ghana. I want to...
An opportunity for us all, as representatives of the people, to gain a deeper understanding of the urgent need to restore a culture of proper artisanal and small-scale mining in Ghana. I will not use the word illegal or Galamsey, because they are just illegal because we made it so. We allow the commercial mining to be legal. We also allow some small-scale mining to be legal, but others will say they are illegal because we legislated them to be illegal. I believe from the presentations, particularly the gory images we have seen, would have made an indelible mark in our minds. I've been part of this process for some time now and had one opportunity to hold a discussion with the leadership of small-scale mining at Kumasi. I've also seen on social media distressing images. And as a former minister for water resources, works and housing, I confronted some of the situations that were just narrated by some of the participants. And we were actually defeated because we could not match the strength and anger of those who were involved in it. There I realized that it was not just a few individuals that were involved, but it was the whole society that had given approval and in fact actively involved in what was happening on the ground. But we can no longer afford to turn a blind eye to the devastation that this type of mining has brought upon our lands, our forests, and our water bodies, and in fact, our food crops. As members of Parliament, we hold a sacred duty to ensure that the resources in our constituencies are managed responsibly and sustainably for the benefit of present and future generations. But it's important for all of us to note that the foundation of all human rights carry with us a renewed sense of purpose and determination. Let us be champions of responsible mining in our constituencies. Let us educate our communities, support sustainable practices and work collaboratively to eradicate the menace of environmentally destructive mining. The task ahead of us, as the senior prefect has stated, is daunting, but I'm very confident. With great resolve, we can create a proper culture of sustainability and environmentally friendly mining in Ghana.
It is a reminder of our collective responsibility to protect and preserve the natural resources that sustain our livelihoods, our economy, and our future. Honorable colleagues, as representatives of the people, you are acutely aware of the public outcry over the state of our environment. Our forests are being decimated, our farmlands are being degraded, and our rivers are being polluted with toxic chemicals. This is not just an environmental crisis, it is a social and economic crisis that threatens the very fabric of our communities. I was just briefed my first day and I was almost shaking. The Resource Commission says the turbidity levels of water that we must have in Ghana to treat for you to drink should be between 0 and 500. Today, every river stability level starts with 5,000 to 12,000. So no machine can treat the water properly. So I'm attempted to believe that if that is the case, then we are drinking poison. We are in crisis, and maybe because we don't want to feel distracted or feel scared, we pretend like we don't want to talk about the crisis. But this is a crisis. It's a crisis of our time. And so, honorable members, that is why we feel it is important to invite you. We believe the first step in this effort is engagement and sensitization of the population.
Because from September this year, they are starting with nickel. And this is the European Union and Japan. North America and most parts of Asia will follow shortly. And as a result of this, Cocoa Board will have to spend lots and lots of money to put up state-of-the-art laboratories at the Quality Control Center at Tema to be able to meet the standards and to be able to test for these heavy metals. So the testing is no longer for moisture and all those other things that we know. Now they want to test for heavy metals because of all the stories and the reality about the impact of illegal mining in the cocoa growing areas. So this is a direct impact that these activities are going to have on our cocoa. And we need to really do something about this.
When I had the benefit of serving this country as the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources some time ago, I took a visit, like he did, to a person, to a Sikam near Chile. It has been reported to me that the river brim, which runs behind a Sikam, had been diverted and mining was taking place right on the bed of river brim. When I went, there was nobody at the site. Apparently, they had been hinted that I was coming there that day. So I had to leave. On my way to TV, there were several uncompleted buildings along the way, and some school children were in those uncompleted buildings in school uniform. At one point, a school girl called, "Minister," he said in the tree, "Minister, and cheer papa, no we are, on the head." In English, "Please, Minister, don't arrest our parents that will deal with this canker. We need a special unit. Deploy them to the forest. Let them protect the forest permanently. They shouldn't go and come out. I'm sure this is a big meeting. In future, we'll have a smaller one. We'll share a lot of ideas there.
All right. Were involved in the process of illegal activities. Some party activists were involved. Sometimes some ministers we heard in the papers were also involved. So Forestry Commission do the arrest, and then the next day the ministers go, they release them. So if we don't have the political will at the highest level, from the president to the vice president, before it comes to the minister, otherwise the minister's work will be very difficult.
We are talking about pollution of water bodies and degrading of forest reserves. It doesn't matter if it's illegal or illegal, because you have people who have concession to enter the forest. So you can't claim that one to be illegal, but he is destroying the forest. That is the issue at hand now. Most of the court cases are not being handled well because you have given prospecting license to the person to go and look for gold. How does he look for the gold? He must dig. He must try to find the gold before he can do the large scale mining. That is why when you send the person to court, because I was a former DCE, and when you send the cases to court, they ask you have given the person prospecting license. What does that mean? It means he is to look for gold. And the person is looking for gold, and you say he shouldn't mine. That is one challenge.